Okay, here we go. More data entry. Set up the steel facility. So the eastmost facility for steel was going to be like the minerals thing, but it's also doing. What also doing? It was going to be the minerals thing. So like concrete was originally going to be made over there, but then it's only getting warehoused over there now. So the only mineral it's handling really is like doing quartz. I mean, it also handles sulfur by way of doing Nobelisk production, like inside here. But aside from that, it's no longer the mineral facility. So that's why I'm referring to it as Steel Facility East. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head what floors on what thing. Mostly because I never got around to putting directory signage on this facility. And it feels like it's kind of... Oop, I forgot there's no leggy pole over here. It feels like it's way too late to like bother putting one on at this point. So we've got the ammo. And then coal plus iron ingots. Oh, coal redistribution plus iron ingots. So coal just comes in here and gets chucked straight back out again, rather than going direct to different places. I did at one point have like external redistribution going on, so each manifold inside here would get its own supply of coal in theory, but then, you know, you can just like spit it off out. But now it's just limited to whatever the max speed of belt is I have at the time. So, you know, you've got a Mark V belt going up there. Okay, the next one up is quartz with two different types of production going on, which is fun. I'm not 100% sure I can actually support that in here. No, yeah, I can. I've got two different pool level things, so it's just going to be a little bit funky looking. Call distribution thingies, then yes, plus group. crystal. I think I was intending to have raw quartz just redistributed from here. The raw quartz that needs like direct access just goes straight along the supply viaduct. And then this floor is empty. Well, it was reserved for putting radar towers on, but I never got around to bothering with them this time. Right, so here we have... how do we address them? Warehouse floor. Oh yeah, let's set the name on it as well. You'll notice that the Fling production dialogue contents have now gone into the pool config. The action buttons are still there. I might remove them at some point just because the config button now handles that job. Right, so, case industrial beams. This is going to be another one that's going to be a little bit odd to calculate because of the overflow. So some of the warehouse lines are set to overflow to sink. Some of them aren't. This is mostly to benefit in case industrial beams because of the relatively low production per machine. So all of the concrete production overflows to encased industrial beam rather than to sink, so that more encased industrial beam can be made. And obviously the same thing for steel pipe once I switched over to the steel pipe alt. Should have concrete, an iron rod, and something else that I've forgotten. Unless that's just the radar tower reserved pole. I think eventually what's going to happen here with this data entry stuff is once I've run out of like new features and bugs that I identified to go on the production, the project planner, is if there's enough time before the 1.0 launch, I might just start a new game and see how using the production planner with a completely new save feels. Because it'll have slightly different needs, so just like transcribing data and double checking signage. So, you know, fun there. Iron rod. And then there you go. So we can see just from the signage on the side of the building that we've got quite a few manifolds in here. So that's going to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pools of stuff. Okay, so first pool inside this floor. Just doing copper ingots. And second pool, black powder. Pool obelisk. Oh, hang on a second, it's technically steel pipe. Then obelisk. There we are. Hang on a second, where's the copy sheet at? Ah, right. So this is one of those special cases, like this isn't how I normally build my manifolds. So we actually have multiple ingots being made here. We have the copper ingots, the steel ingots, and the iron ingots. And the iron ingots go straight into the steel ingots rather than them being over there. So yeah, we're going to do some save editing on this one. So we'll just change the order that they're referenced in the group, and that should fix things there. So we want these two here. And we want to inject another one for copper sheet. Now where's this set of iron ingots going? Oh, it's making plates. Fun. So I need another two. I'm going to repeat the same trick we did there. Oh, hang on a second, there it is. Oh. So in terms of data entry, I can merge these two iron ingot things onto the same production chunk, same pool. So we can call that one copper sheet, and this one iron plate. There we go. Should take a closer look at everything and make sure that we're not missing any additional production lines. Alright, so there's some boundary crossing going on here, but the next boundary for production is here. So heavy oil residue, smokeless powder, yeah. So let's put those in. Rifle ammo. Okay, then the next production boundary. Yep, here we go. So we have more heavy oil residue and compact coal. Yet more heavy oil residue. There's a lot of it being made. Get more smokeless powder. And we have turbo fuel. Hang on, what's going on here? Oh, so there's just a storage bin for these. It's not automatically coming in. Right. Fun, fun. Let's see. I need to check on the project planner if I've accounted for storage bin sources. Because one of the things I want to try and do, if I ever get around to doing the warehousing production type, is like accounting for overflow and how long it will take to fill stuff up. So it would say, oh, you're producing this many a minute. Your warehouse is configured to have this many storage containers. It's going to take this long to fill up. So I'm thinking I need to have storage inputs. So you can say if you have a full stack on each inventory slot in the storage container, it will last this long. So yeah, let's put that on the board under the eventually list. Now I don't have a copy of the project planner on the window this time because I wasn't expecting to be using it. Let's go to the enhancement, isolation boundaries, JSON document, production fleeing. New production input type, storage bins. One, two, three, four. No, that's three. Need to indicate storage bin count, similar to warehousing. Destination type. Indicate how long the input will last for if the storage bin is full. There we go. So, yes, things, turbo fuel, and then turbo rifle ammo. So presumably the production rate for turbo rifle ammo is such that I can get away with just having that storage bin there that I've completely forgot about, because the production is clearly backed up. That's where this lot comes in. All of the fuel parts slide into here. We send off packaged turbo fuel to go to the warehouse, and then any overflow gets immediately unpacked and burnt off. We've got more heavy oil residue, more compacted coal, more turbo fuel, and we've got empty canisters. I think there must be a sink somewhere there. Yep. That'll be handling the polyres and the empty canisters, I'm guessing. Yeah. And this is one of those cases where having the group as a production flinging destination would be handy, because of this, having so many pools just to shuffle production amongst them, when I could just set it to the parent group and then it would just take the input directly. There we go, package turbo fuel. So we're making 15 a minute and unpacking 15 a minute, and then we got this for set of 4 to burn it all off. Now, I do remember putting some work into having fuel generators in here, but I don't know if it's actually supported by this point. Like, some the world source items were causing that many problems, I just took the support out. So the eventual idea is that if you put fuel generators in, it will tell you how much power you're going to generate. But for now, if it's going to work at all, it'll just say you need this much fuel. Right, so let's work back from here. So we have 15 a minute of packaged turbo fuel. That is the correct recipe, cool. So we need 15 a minute of that. But we're going to send 15 a minute to storage. And then that same 15 a minute is going to go to the fuel generators. Now, because we don't have support for warehousing and sinking and overflow, it shows up as negative availability, which is perfectly fine. So let's put 4 fuel generators in. Right, okay, so oh, hang on a second, that doesn't go to packaged turbo fuel, that goes to unpackaged turbo fuel. Bloop. So it shows up as an input, but it shows up with an input amount of 0 because it's not getting any, like, if I set it to 16 it would show up as 1, because it comes after, whereas if I go back in and I switch the order around, this will show up as 15 and the warehouse will show up as 0. So it looks like buildings are only implemented as buildables, rather than saying this is a fuel generator that takes, you know, parts, fuel, rather. If I remember correctly, there is a fake recipe in here for uranium waste, so if you say you want to make so much uranium waste, it will tell you to build a nuclear power station. But I can't say, at the moment, I've got 4 fuel generators, it needs this many parts and this fuel. So, project planner. So we've got new view, power generation. So that was made 3 weeks ago. Says the number of power generators, recipes for selection for fuels, production, selection for no purity and these, and yeah. That may require a fake recipe as well. So it'll show up as fuel generator, turbo fuel, fuel generator, fuel, and so on. So let's also add in some things. For recipes for fuel generation, well, for power generation. So fuel input will show up on the calculator. Fuel input requirements. Show up on the calculator rather than the ingredients required to actually build the generator. Right, so we'll leave that on as 0 just as a placeholder. I can, you know, delete it later. But it does mean I can't do part of the data entry at the moment, just because I never got around to implementing it. So we want to take turbo fuel from unpackaged turbo fuel at a rate of 15 a minute. Has it fallen over? It looks like it has. Expecting 1 to be less than 1. Oh bugger. I think the save might be knackered. Sorry, the document might be knackered. Yeah, that's a problem. Right, so it's trying to calculate the ingredients needed for unpackaged turbo fuel. Saying that I need to have packaged turbo fuel as a thing. So I'm going to have to set that to 0. That should recalculate it and fix the recursive thing. Because the issue that's going on there is it's saying turbo fuel comes from unpackaged turbo fuel, but to unpackaged turbo fuel you need packaged turbo fuel, and to make packaged turbo fuel you need turbo fuel. So the infinite recursion algorithm code kicks in, and the way that's meant to work is that if, like, say you're doing recycled plastic from recycled rubber and you're looping those around, it will attempt to short circuit the infinite series rather than being stuck in an infinite loop, and say, you know, this comes from this, requires this much plastic, and this comes from this, needs this much rubber, and it just like reduces the amount as it goes on, and like that's the expectation with that code. So there's an exception check in there that says if one number isn't smaller than the other, complain, which is exactly what happened there. So that is technically expected behavior. It's just a slight annoyance that because overflow isn't implemented in the production planner, I can't say that this is overflowed and it's getting all of the stuff here. There's a thought. Rather than waiting for warehousing and stuff to be implemented, I can have a look and say like on let's see, where is it? So on this view, if I had a checkbox in, or a toggle button, like somewhere in this view, I could say this output is listed, but it's overflowed. It would mean that it's still got the 15 available. Which would then allow that to flow through. So I'm manually saying that things are overflowed rather than waiting for features to be implemented. Right. Put this on as a P2, maybe? There's a bunch of other features on the P2 that like haven't been done yet. However useful this might be for this particular use case, it's not possibly usable overall, because I might find that I get the inspiration to do the whole warehousing thing before I actually get around doing this. So, yay. So, add checkbox toggle for production flinging destination to say this is overflowing. Manual check rather than waiting for what's the ticket number for that one. 14 and 20. To be implemented. A manual checkbox slash toggle to have overflow automatically be done. We need separate view of everything overflowable. Because if production flinging only has one destination rather than like the two that we have here, it's going to be moot for overflow, whereas something that says, oh, we have a negative amount available, let's put that in a view and says all of the negative available amounts, and then we can say that is overflowing into that, rather than having to go in one at a time. Alright, so that's that issue sorted there. So we need 15 a-minute empty canisters. From the coated iron canister recipe. So we need 7.5 iron plate. I should configure these canisters first. So he's going to package turbo fuel. There's that feature implemented, highlighting what needs inputs. So I'll pop into there, then it's like the turbo fuel's gone on. So 7.5 iron plate. popping onto Discord at the same time. Let's see, 7.5. Don't think we're using the steel coated plate recipe. It says we're making 15 a minute. Why are we making 15 if it says we only need 7.5? Is it going to multiple destinations, or I just haven't noticed? Yeah, it does look like we're making twice as much as we need to. That may have been intentional, that may have just been me thinking, oh, I'm making 2 of each manifold, and then by the time I get to the end, I'm just only making 1 for turbo fuel. So we'll set this to 7.5. I'll set it to the default recipe. It needs 11.25 iron ingot. Wait, I just noticed a styling issue. Hang on a second. I made the headers sticky so the name of the dialogue wouldn't disappear off the screen when I'm scrolling. Obviously that has issues. I'm just going to double check that. I'm hoping it's just flow around the H1. Oh no, it's the yeah, it's the padding around the dialogue. So what I would end up having to do to fix this is say padding top 0, hopefully, except that doesn't work. Okay, browser's being weird. Padding top 0, there we go. And then inside the header, we want to set padding top 0.5 EM. So then everything should be positioned the same, except the contents of the dialogue won't be visible behind the header. So let's get that filed as a. I mean, it could be a P2, but I'm going to put it in as a P1, as that should be the next thing I should be doing after this stream. Dialogue header padding needs adjustment. Dialogue contents visible behind sticky header. Heading top 0. On dialogue. Heading top 5 EM. Is it EM or REM? EM. On dialogue. Sticky header. Assign it to me. Make that bug. Where did that disappear to? Oh, it's gone under eventually because I'm clicking in the wrong place. There we go. P1 and add it to today. Okay, where were we? Yeah, let's just reload because I edited the CSS. So we've got 7.5. You want it on default iron plate. Hang on a second, I already did that. Possible bug. Anyway, we want 11.25 iron ingots. Let's send those to empty canister. Right, so I was actually set on the recipe selection. So let's save and reload. Right, that's a problem. Now, is it in the JSON or is it actually getting lost? What ID are we here? 123. Yeah, it's not getting saved. That's a P0. Full level recipe selections not getting saved. So I am gonna pop off now and get that fixed. I'll just get this in the right place on the board, because even though I hit the P0 thing, it got put into a different slot. So yeah, we're gonna well, get on the floor first. because I can find it disorienting if I load up a save while I'm hovering. Right, there's that saved. I'm going to pop off, get that issue fixed, and then be back later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.